welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so glad that you're joining us, and you can always come down here and be part of our adult beverage imbibed audience. And we're here at Bernie's Bungalow on Thursday nights, and if you want tickets, please send us an email at moreupnorth@gmail.com. So Harry and I were talking on the break, and this is sort of a moment for teabaggers who don't want to, don't want to give any taxes to the government anymore, and they think that the big government's really bad. Well, you were explaining to me quickly that basically ACEs took money away from the federal government and gave it to Alaska, which you would like, you would think. So how do we do that? You get to write off what you spend to the state from your federal.
Well, you're about to explain the whole thing.
So just tell me, how much money are we talking?
We've kept more than $2 billion in the state by oil tax reform. And what happens is, you're able to, the oil companies are able to write off every bit of their state tax against their federal tax.
Federals, right.
And if we were to go in and give this big tax give back, the oil companies wouldn't get all of it. What they would get would be a part of it, because the federal government they're still going to be charging their taxes. So basically what we're going to be doing is handing Alaskan dollars to the federal government.
So tell me, Dan Fagan, would you rather have Barack Obama have that money or Alaska? Gotcha. No, I kid Dan. I actually called him today trying to invite him, but he's not taking my calls right now. We broke up apparently. So here's a couple of questions from our audience members, and let's try to get through these. Are there still hardcore Palin supporters in the administration? I don't think there's any here. Do you think our legislatures have already forgotten about the CBC? Ooh, what a great question, the Corrupt Bastards Club. Have we done any sort of analysis, Marcia, on exactly how much money that the corrupted legislature bought by VECO and the oil companies, how much did that cost Alaska? Do we know how much yet?
In terms of if that's code for what did we get under PPT versus ACEs, we've obviously got the data in here, but it was sort of water under the bridge, so we've not looked at what would happen if ACEs had been in place when PPT got passed. Haven't looked at that.
Well, that's a question for the next show.
I would like to answer, talk about that a little bit. When the new Attorney General came in, he came around to visit each of us. And
Dan Sullivan's his name. Not that one, a different one.
Yes. Anyway, I give him credit for coming by and talking to us, and what I asked was, all of these people that supposedly got a federal deal, Bill Allen and Rick Smith took the fall for everybody. So does the state have any recourse on other people that might have broken the law? Any of these other folks that are still out there that haven't been caught in the net yet? And he hasn't gotten back to me with an answer yet as to what the state might do. I'm tired of waiting on the feds to do their thing. Let's let our Attorney General go after the lawbreakers, because there's still several of them out there.
Are you nodding, Les?
Let me just tone it down a little bit. There are a lot of people who voted for that 2006 PPT law who didn't do it dishonestly. I disagreed with them. Right. I think they bought into the oil company argument, you give us money, we'll give it back. I think that's fake, but it wasn't dishonest.
Right, all the people that voted for the PPT weren't crooks, but none of the people that were crooks voted against it, is what you're saying.
I'm going to let you follow that one. I think it gets, So, yeah.
Actually, I was talking about there were other lower level people at VECO that somehow or another got out of the deal because Rick Smith and Bill Allen were the only ones that they actually prosecuted. There were other people that broke the law there. There are other people that broke the law elsewhere, and I'd like to know what the state is going to do.
Yeah, it would be good. What else are they doing?
I want to know about Frank Murkowski. There was a weekend, even under his proposal, where he started out with a 25% tax rate that he was going to charge the oil companies. He had a meeting with some of the major oil company executives, and on Monday it became a 20% tax. Wow. Miraculously, this thing he had been studying for months, that his consultant told him should be a 25% tax, All of a sudden, he and the consultant showed up on Monday, and it was 20%.
So
That was like a $600 million weekend.
Is the attorney, right. Wow.
I don't know what
wonder if
happened.
there's pictures. If there are, you can email them to
A
me.
little walk in the woods.
Yeah, a little walk on the wild side maybe. Trip to Thailand. I don't know what they were doing. Okay, oh, this is for you, Marcia. You were selected by Palin. You seem so reasonable. Should I do, no. You seem, like I said,
Actually,
please
you
don't
know,
quit.
I will say that my sole interactions with Governor Palin were very positive in that she honored our work on the facts and the data. So when we did AGEA and when we did ACES, she relied and gave credence to what we did. And so that's all I can say is she was
Well,
a
she
good
hired
governor.
you, so she gets a little extra star in my book. Will Governor Parnell consider not tinkering with ACES lest we risk a huge tax decrease? Sounds like he's ready to go forward, doesn't it? Yep, I'm getting a nod from Marcia. Harry Crawford, what are the secret ingredients in your etouffee? He would tell us, but then he'd have to kill us. With regards to Alaska Hire and the use of PLAs to achieve Alaska Hire goals, doesn't this present serious constitutional issues?
Say that again.
With the project labor agreements. If
Yeah.
we say you have to be an Alaskan first,
No, what you have to do is be working in this jurisdiction. So if you've been working in this jurisdiction for a year and you're on the list here, well then, that's the residency requirement. That's much better than flying up here from Houston and going to work one
right,
day.
and not having to pay for it. That'd be great. What do you think the amendments to the ACES framework should be called? Deuces? Wild? That's so clever. Oh, we have the cleverest audience. What should we call the amendments? Deuces? Oh, dunces. We'll see how it turns out. Will you take that under advisement?
Oh, absolutely.
Sarah Palin as a Fox News correspondent. Thoughts? I have one. She finally found something she's qualified for. Is Sean Parnell campaigning? Yes, of course. He's running, he's raising money, and he's campaigning. And is he doing it with this? Possibly. I hope not. Because I think it's too big of a damn deal to just make this as a campaign thing, but it's what people do. It's
My experience, no. But I'm just me and I'm just working in the trenches.
So also the movement to protect the PFD.
Ooh, can I talk?
You got if you can do it in 40 seconds.
Well, I can tell you that the corollary here, if we do a big tax give back to the oil companies, the next thing that's going to happen, they're going to come to us for the money, and it's going to come from the permanent fund. That's it. That's where the money is.
So if we lock up the permanent fund, then you pretty much have to leave ACES alone or make it a little bit better.
What we did our bill is not to lock it up completely. It's to put 50% of the earnings based on a 5-year average into a PFD and putting that in. They want it all. They don't want just the 50%. They want everything.
Shocking, isn't it? We'd all like that. All right, you guys have been a great panel. Good luck in Juneau to all of you, and for hopefully keeping the good things about ACES, and if there's some things that we can fix, but we can't go backwards. We can't. We've already been there and people went to jail, remember? That part kind of sucked. I'm Shannyn Moore. We'll be back next week with a new More Up North.